Loach and Bill Vickery weigh in on the topic. DACA is the big story. Good morning to you both. Thanks for joining us. The story this morning, of course, is the top leaders that President Trump met with. Your thoughts? Yeah, well, first of all, what President Obama did was clearly illegal. They knew it at the time. His own Justice Department knew it at the time. What you saw happen this week, though, in Washington was a seismic shift. When you consider that Trump is down in Florida now telling people, I met with Pelosi, I met with Schumer, we're going to work out a deal for the Dreamers, and oh, by the way, I'm going to have support to build the wall, create real immigration reform. I mean, this is first of all, this is Trump at his masterful best, because now he's backed the Democratic leadership into a corner where they have a deal on the table. They just have to support real immigration reform and real border security in the form of a wall and other things to really get what they want, which is to allow these dreamers to stay in the country, many of whom have joined the military, pay taxes. We talked about this on the program a while back. So hats off to President Trump. I think this could be the deal. This would be the most seismic political deal in Washington in over 2 decades.
Okay, so as far as being backed into a corner goes, I don't think that Democrats feel that way at all. We are very well aware that we're in the minority here, and we also know that the Republicans, they have control of the White House and they have control of Congress, and they haven't been able to accomplish much. The only thing that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer wanted to do was to have a conversation with President Trump about what could be done to stop just the abrupt halt of this entire group's livelihood as it pertains to a policy we have. If anything, the bright side here is that we've now shifted to maybe what is going to lead to a conversation that increases the public's interest in having comprehensive immigration reform. It's up to the Republican Party to do this. We'll see if they do it. So far, they've done very little while they've been in office. That's why they're still talking about the Obama presidency. It's a pretty sad indictment of their progress so far.
Jessica, does it give you any hope that this becomes bipartisanship, that we're starting to see that crossing the aisle?
It certainly does. And you saw remarks from Speaker Ryan when he was saying, you know, look, we're going to put the majority first. I mean, Paul Ryan made it very clear that he wants the Republican Party to put forth the solution and then for Democrats to plug into that. I think Republicans were taken a little aback by the fact that President Trump met with Pelosi and Schumer. They wanted a seat at the table. It didn't work out like that. The reason why it didn't work out that way is because President Trump has gotten tired of waiting on his own party to act, and he's now made that very clear.
To a large degree, that's what Trump is doing. He's triangulating the Republican legislative leadership with the Democratic legislative leadership and the White House. And so I think it's a brilliant move by Trump. It harkens back to a different time in American politics when you had a leader, let's say a Reagan, or in the old days a Johnson, who was willing to maneuver both sides against one another inside the legislative branch. So listen, hats off to President Trump on this. If he's able to pull off, only Nixon could go to China, and only Donald Trump can institute real immigration reform with real border security and a program to bring people on a path to citizenship. Only he can do that. Can you imagine a Trump presidency with tax reform, immigration reform, and health care reform? It would be pretty stunning to accomplish that in his first term.
Yeah, we're 0 for 3 right now. We'll see what happens. I think that immigration reform would be pretty great if he could knock that out.
We're 8 months into the presidency.
Yeah.
I mean, when Obama was president for 8 months, he'd done absolutely nothing. We still hadn't passed health care reform, and he had a veto-proof United States Senate. So this idea that somehow Trump hasn't done anything.
Reform policy was still being written, and I know that President Trump has also taken a liking to executive order as well. So I think people should be very careful to criticize the executive orders. So it's going to be a little contentious as we move through this immigration debate, but the good news is that I think we're headed somewhere good. I really do think so.
We'll end on that note. Thank you both. We appreciate it.
Schumer and Pelosi, vote for the wall. I'm for that.
Bill Vickery, Jessica DeLoach, thank you so much. Love having both of y'all on, and we love y'all being with us this morning. We'll be right back.